If I'm right, you started your business when your children were quite small and now they are all grown up and adulting out in the big wide world. So tell me, what made you start a business?
Oh, crikey. So you're right. I started when they were only little. My youngest was 2 at the time. My eldest was 14. So quite a big gap. And I'd been in the corporate world for probably about 14 years, all of my daughter's life. So I had my eldest daughter quite young. So I was 19. I was only at university at the time. So when I was in the world of work, I didn't know any different. So I worked full time in retail head offices. So often I was at my desk from 8, 9 o'clock in the morning through to leaving my desk at 6 o'clock in the evening and not getting home till maybe 7 o'clock after you've battled the traffic. And then you're met with, what's for tea? So you're having to constantly be on the go. And I was very, very lucky and fortunate that my mum helped me out. So I didn't have to do nurseries or childminders. And I'm incredibly fortunate that my mum used to come to our home every morning and help go do the school run. And she'd do the
Oh,
pickup
lovely.
and all of those things. And then when I had my youngest, I went on maternity leave. So I had 2 children at that point. So my daughter and my son. And I had a stepson as well, who was flitting between us and his mum. And we had our daughter, and I went on maternity leave for a good, I think it was about a year. It must have been about 9 months to a year. I'd never had that much time off work. So when I was, obviously my eldest daughter, I was at university, so I didn't have that much time off work or off anything. I didn't have maternity leave. When I had my son, I think it was only something like 12, 13, 14 weeks or something, maybe 16 weeks, something like that. It was in no time at all. So as soon as you're off work, you're back there again. So no maternity leave to write home about. So all of a sudden, I had this big gap off work. And I found myself in a mum's group. Now, this mum's group was a new mum's group. And I remember saying to the health visitor, let me in it. She went, you're not a new mum. I says, please just let me in it. I didn't have access to any other mums around me, who were going through anything. All of the other mums that I knew had older children. So I didn't have anyone with a baby. I said, just let me in it. I want somebody to hang out with, for this time off. So I fell into a group. She was very lovely health visitor. She went, yeah, off you go and join in. So I fell in with this fantastic group of local ladies. And there was probably about 6 of us at the time, and we just hung out for 9 months. We did the cake, we did the parks, we did the parties at kids' houses, we did all of it. It was just fabulous, and I'd never, ever had that. And whilst that was going on, I started to realise that there was a whole world out there. And I thought, look at that. I did the school run. And I thought, wow, this is what happens at the school. I could count on one hand how many times I've been to the school, apart from nativity plays and, parents' evenings and things, but never to do school pick up and drop off. And although I never felt guilty about it, because it was, I went to work, I needed to go to work. So I just realised that there was a whole part of life that I'd not had access to. And I thought, okay, what's going on here? What do I do? How can it just didn't feel, I felt like I was missing out on something. So I went back to work anyway after my maternity leave ended. And although I slipped back in, just like you do, everything was fine, but it wasn't fine. Behind the scenes, in the back of my mind, I was going, there's more to life than this. I don't want this to be my life. And around that time as well, when you get your pension statement every year, you get your pension statement. Now, I had never signed up for the pension, and I was sat with other managers and senior leaders around just in the canteen, and they'd all got their pension statements, and they started going, only 12 more years to go, only 15 more years to go. And honestly, I had this feeling in the pit of my stomach listening to them, thinking, I'm not going to swear on your podcast, Victoria, but
Oh, it's all right.
holy,
Yeah, no, it's fine.
This is not a joke. This is my life. This is
Yeah.
my life. What am I going to do? I started to get very claustrophobic. And even though I absolutely loved my job, I loved the companies, there was nothing wrong. On paper, it was all great. It was a massive internal shift. I didn't fit anymore. I'd outgrown it, or whether grown is the right word, but I'd shifted. And I started having this, I had this conversation. It was maybe an appraisal or something, where my boss at the time was going, "Oh, do you want to get involved in this project?" And I'm going, "No." And she went, "So what do you fancy? Do you fancy working over here?" And I'm like, "No." And she went, "Okay." And that kept going on. And she said, "Right, what's going on?" And I said, "I think I'm leaving. I think I'm going now. I think I'm resigning."